Hey guys, welcome back to another exclusive interview brought to you by Formation Productions and Mo Visuals. I'm your host, Maher Ahmed, and today I'm going to be interviewing Michael Zavala from VH1's Cartel Crew. Michael, how are you doing?
Hi everyone. Good. How are you? I'm Michael Zavala. I'm from Cartel Crew on VH1. I'm also an interior designer, and I'm super excited to be on. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us. I really appreciate it. So when I interview people, I want to allow them to give everybody a background story. We want to know more about you and who you are outside of the show. So tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe your upbringing and your childhood, some details about your family, because we want to know more about you. Even though we have seen you for 2 seasons, I feel like it's not enough for us to actually understand who you are fully.
Yeah, I think I'm probably the only one in the show that has not gotten a full story out of me. So, you know, people don't really know exactly what I do and who I am, and all they know me as like I'm Nicole's twin brother. But which is fine. Um, but you're going to see a little bit more of me this season that's coming up. But hopefully on the next one, I'll have a bigger story just because I come in a little bit later in the mix. But from like growing up, me and Nicole, we were just inherited cartel money by family members. So we weren't really in depth with like how everyone else is, first generation, second generation. So we were just growing up living, lavishly. Like our parents spoiled us, so we just knew how to manage our money at a young age. And with that, my sister, started, of course, as you know, fixing herself during season 1, and she like talked about her surgeries because that's all what she's into, and then also starting her own business with her waist trainer line and eyelashes. But I've always been in the background, and since my background is interior design, my mind is just creative overall, and so I'm very visual also, and so what I like to do and what I do as my profession is that I design commercial spaces like lobbies and offices for big high rises, and especially here in Miami. And I also have my own personal company called Zavala Concepts, which is residential design. Um, so I would, design people's houses, apartments, condos, all of that. And just to like step out of my comfort zone a little bit, just because I was just born with being super creative with it design, that I'm like, okay, what else can I do that's also, under the category of being a creative. So then of course I started, playing with photography, and I started getting into a little, I don't want to say modeling sort of thing, but I visually I like everything to look aesthetically pleasing, just because how my mind works.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, instead of just taking a basic selfie, let me do something artistic and like put a story behind it. And not a lot of people know me about that. I mean, I talked about it a little bit when I was going through like a breakup at the moment with ex-boyfriend. The way I like to express myself, just because I'm more of a person that, I rather show you how much I love you than tell you. Me with words, forget it. So, and that's great because since I have an eye for a lot of things, I can put that in a story. So it's more like therapeutic for me in a way, kind of. So like whatever I'm going through at the moment, I like to show it in my pictures. So I come up with like a song that kind of relates with what I'm going through at the moment.
Okay.
And I kind of do it subliminally in all of these pictures, and just like have like little hints of like what I'm going through, and like, just to make it a little bit more creative than just, a basic selfie. So that's how I do all my series. And so like whenever I post a new one, all my friends are like, okay, what are you going through now? And I'll like read the caption because it's usually just the lyrics of a specific song. So that's what I like to do in my Instagram page. Outside of that, I also, I'm like a creative director. So whomever wants a conceptual photo shoot, they hire me, and I'm their creative director. So I get the studio, I also get the photographer. I come up with like the outfit, the look, or enhance the ideas that you have. So, and I'm working with Marie from Cartel Crew on her product lines for her makeup. So I just started this season because she was like, Zavala, you're always taking great pictures. Like, I need help. And I'm like, girl, I was like, are you sure? She was like, I was like, you got it all like set. She was like, no, 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 I really want it. I love your eyes. So I was like, okay, perfect. It's my baby.
So will we
So,
see some of that on this season?
maybe.
I hope so.
So, it's cool because then she tells me like what she likes and what she wants to do, and my mind obviously goes crazy with like so many crazy ideas. I'm like, okay, yes, I need you to be floating, you need to be on a cloud, you need to so it's cool because she also has this like makeup line that she's coming out with. So I get to play with a prop, which is cool, and like so it's like kind of like merchandising product, right? Which is what I used to do way back in the day when I was like going to college for interior design. I was a visual merchandiser for furniture stores and also anthropology. So all those like window displays, I'm very like hands-on, very creative. So that kind of took me back, and I was just like, oh, I really like. I forgot how how much I really love this. And then I recently also bought a house. So you'll see a little bit of that on this new season. So I bought a house, and it's my first house ever, because what I owned before was a penthouse in Midtown, and that's where we filmed season 1 and season 2, and
Okay.
that's where me and my sister lived together. So that was my penthouse, but I sold it. I sold all the furniture, and I bought a new house. So super
Congratulations on
excited.
that. That's a huge accomplishment to move from a penthouse to your own house and having a mortgage. That is awesome.
Yeah, no, it's so much cheaper. And I have land, so it's perfect because I'm a total plant daddy. So
Is it like your dream house, or is it just your first house and you'll
it's
upgrade?
my first house. I mean, I'm having so much fun with it, as you can tell. You'll see what this is later, but
Okay.
yes, so my first house, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do this right, as always. Like when I did when I got the apartment, I was just like, I'm gonna deck this out because it's basically my portfolio. It's like my live model studio. Every time that someone comes in, or like I'm interviewing or doing the seasons and all that stuff, the episodes. That's a good way to like to promote yourself, because since not something I talk about, I would like at least people to see what I do, since I can't say it, and it's not part of the storyline sometimes. But it's cool because on this season, they catch us moving in. So you'll see in the background, even though it's not the topic, that everything starts evolving little by little, like my renovations of the house, which is really really cool. Because it's a good house, but it wasn't my style. It had great bones and everything, and my mom moved in with me, so she was just like, you should leave everything how it is. Like it looks really nice, because like I fixed it before selling it, and no, it's not my style. I mean, like gut it completely. So I gut it completely, and then like changed everything and made it for me. So it's very cool because then like in the other apartment, I couldn't change the kitchen because I was just like, I don't want to do it in an apartment. I'd rather like spend that money like on the house,
Yeah.
sort of thing. So when I finally got the house, I was just like, all right, I'm starting from scratch. So that's really cool. So that's what I do. For interior design, I do a lot of homes and lobbies, and then a lot of workplace, like offices. And I'm also working with, you'll see it on this season, with Vita Plug. She worked with Marie when Marie got all her surgeries done. It's like a nursing home that they go to for a couple of days, and the nurses take care of the girls that just like recently got their body done. So it's cool because like we all like help each other out, and she needed a designer because she needed somebody to fix up the house where all the girls were going to stay, and that's where my sister stayed as well when she did her surgeries. So I did the house, and I'm doing also another one because they're growing, so it's really cool.
That's awesome. It seems like you're doing a lot, so I'm sure you're busy all the time. How, when you have all this going on with your creative directing and interior design and all of that, how do you squeeze in filming for a TV show? Because I know that's not just like a quick 1 day filming session. You got to prepare and get ready with production, then you have to wait for them before you even start filming, and then I'm sure production takes all day. So does that
All day.
is that stressful when it comes to like you working on a side project or what you do with your
Right.
brand? And does that kind of like interfere and stress you out a little bit?
Not really. It's actually fun because every day is different. Just because, I make my own schedule. I have my own business. I'm also renovating my house, and then plus, taking pictures at the same time and then doing other pictures for others. So it's every single day is different, which is fun. Um, and I mean, sometimes it's scheduled, sometimes it's not. Like, I mean, be like, where are your house? At what time
Yeah.
are you arriving? And I'm here like, oh, thank God today. Like, thank God I did my hair. I had a suit on. But yeah, no. So it's sometimes very spontaneous, which is great because it's reality. It's real. But yeah, you always have to have something in your back pocket just in case, because it's like kind of throw you in a fish tank filled with sharks sometimes.
Yeah, and none of your days seem to be boring, so that's pretty great.
Yeah.
How did you even get approached to do the show Cartel Crew? So tell us about that whole
Yeah.
situation and how
So
VH1 came to you.
they actually reached out to my sister, just because she had a large following, way back when, maybe it was like 2 3 years ago, and um, she was kind of like interviewing for some movies actually, and like this specific producer just got to know her a little bit more, and like she spoke about her life and her upbringings and all that stuff, and related with the cartel life and everything, just because we knew when we were little there was something going on, but we were just like living great because our parents were giving us everything at that point, until now. But so they reached out to her, and like maybe like a year later, I guess they gathered so many like people that lived in Miami that had the same upbringings and history, that they came up with that concept like, oh my God, let's do this show. So when they reached out to her, they were like, yeah, they would to pair somebody with somebody, in the show, so you're not alone. So they asked her like, hey, do you have like a family member, like a friend? And she said, oh, I'm a twin. And they're like, you're a twin? And she was just like, yeah, but he's a boy. It's a boy. And they're like, okay. And then once they met me, they were like, okay, you guys are complete opposites. This is gonna be a shit show. They're like, this is gonna be great, because I'm very like, how do I say this? Very serious, very the mentality of like 9 to 5 business, like I have that hustle blood in me. She is also the same way, but she's a little bit. I'm more reserved and more collected, and she's just a little bit more wild. She doesn't give five at all. So that's the two different personalities, and plus we lived together at the time, so they really saw like that relationship, of how we work with each other, or like live with each other and all that stuff. And I mean, of course, you're gonna have your brother and sister drama all the time, so they love that.
That was literally my
um,
next question. I was about to say, because since you guys are polar opposites and now you guys are living together, do you guys clash a lot? I'm assuming you have a great connection
yes,
as you guys are.
I mean, like every relationship, we always have our little arguments,
Yeah.
but we're basically passing ships because she has a schedule, I have a different schedule, so it's like, and it's cool because I mean, when we were gonna start filming season 3 and get ready, um, she wanted to like move out, to do her, and then plus at the time I was just like, I'm buying a house, like, I'm gonna start settling down, but pandemic hit, like COVID ruined everything. So I brought the girls to live with me again because my mom was also living on her own with my little sister, and everybody was kind of separate. But just because of COVID, I was just like, you know what, let's be all together, just because, it's why we're gonna be separate and not see each other. So it was a smart move, and it kind of brought the bond together, because for a while we were somewhat separated for 5 years. Um, and bringing the girls. So I became the man in the house again. So just because my dad's not in the picture anymore.
Okay.
So I brought all the girls in to move in with me, and which was nice because your mom is always gonna cook and clean for you. So I was like, okay, this is great. I missed that. And Nicole, like we're like I said, different schedules. So it's like we're barely see each other, and when we do, it's like, oh my god, hey, catch up, or when we're filming.
So I want to get a little bit more into the show. So during season 1, we're kind of introduced to you guys and the other casts. A little bit less with you, but then you come in during the Pierre Blanco party, the fashion show.
Yeah.
And it kind of was like edited or produced to make it seem like you had just met the rest of the cast that day. Is that actually how it happened, or did you know them prior?
So I knew of them. We just never had a real conversation. It was just that we were just invited by Marie, and Nicole brought me just because she didn't want to go alone. So that was like a thing that was perfect to like introduce me in the storyline. But it was interesting just because it was a lot of drama that I was not expecting. I'm sure she wasn't expecting that either, but like they did pull a lot of things that, because you're never gonna know, it's reality, what's gonna pop up or not,
Right.
So I mean, I went with my 2 friends. They were not shown because it was just not part of the scene, but I did go with 2 other friends, and my sister brought her friend Allie as well. So we all 5 of us went together, and that's where we kind of met them, just because everyone kind of knew each other in that group, and me and my sister didn't. We were just the outcast. So and season 1 is basically was just talking about history of like how everyone was tied to the cartel. So we all talk about like every person's like storyline.
Right.
And they didn't believe us at one point just because we did have cops in our family, and they thought that was a little suspicious. And so like Stephanie, digging up that badge from my sister's Twitter account, like I don't know how many X years ago, was a little funny, but yeah, no, I mean they were just a little confused that we had cops in our family, so that's why they were just like, well, how are you part of it? Like, and it's just not that. Yes, we weren't part of it. We were just inherited, so it was just like my dad's cousin's cousin sort of thing. So it wasn't that we were growing up with that with our family and my dad and my mom in it. It was just that they were just given, that were being helped, right? And too much that we lived very well. So until now, parents went through a divorce, everything split, and now I became the man of the house. I'm taking care of all the girls. But so that's what happened for season 1.
Yeah.
And season 2 was more of like what you're doing with your life now that you have that baggage or history behind you, and also relationships. So we threw in a little bit of the relationships in there as well, like what are you doing with your life now and stuff like that. And season 3 was the topic was gonna probably be like careers, but then pandemic happened, so it became more of like a family, like what are you gonna do with your family, like or what happened in your family and stuff like that during these times.
Okay. So during that party, obviously you said there was a lot of drama. And I mean, Nicole got into it with all the girls.
Yeah.
And of course you were there to defend your sister. You're not going to have anyone put hands on your sister while you're there, So that almost led to you and Michael Blanco, like coming to blows. Did you ever have a discussion after this party or that situation with Marie and Michael? And did you guys ever get the chance to apologize to each other? Because clearly you and Marie are cool. You're working together. So
right. Me and Michael, we've never had a conversation. It was more of like a Marie and Nicole sort of thing. Because me and him really didn't do anything. I mean, I just was just being a guard right in front of Nicole just in case. And like he was probably smart enough not to do anything because he's on TV, and plus I'm the gay male man, so it would have looked really bad.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that's what was probably going through his head. But we're super cool now.
That's good. I'm glad you guys are in a better place and you're able to squash it. You talked a little bit about how the fact that you guys were both questioned about your affiliation with the cartel. And also you two were outcasted because everybody else knew each other. So how did that make you feel? Did you ever at any point say to yourself, like, I don't know if I want to do this filming, this is too much, like, and how did you feel about the fact that people were just questioning you and your guys' credibility?
I mean, it was scary at one point just because we didn't think we were gonna do this. My sister's like, "This is great," and I was like, "No, it's not." I was like, "This is dangerous," and I'm like, "I doubt mom and and dad are gonna accept this. I'm sure they don't want to say anything." But after talking to the producers and like our safety and all that stuff, we came to an agreement. But again, we don't have that direct tie, so that's why it wasn't as bad, you know.
Right.
But yes, it was a little scary in the beginning, and at one point I was just like, "Oh my God, what are we getting myself into?" I'm like, "Nicole, what are you doing?" Like,
I told you.
yeah, and but no, it worked out.
And do you feel like production really has your guys' back and make sure that when you guys are filming, you're safe?
Yeah,
And I don't know, are there precautions that they take with a situation like this? Because again, there's a tie to the cartel, so I know
right.
there's fear there, like you said you had. So do you think they treat you right?
No, they do. They're like family. It's amazing. The security is here 24/7, so we feel pretty protected.
That's good.
Yeah. Hmm.
So Allie, which is your sister's best friend,
Hmm.
she was introduced, and during season two, there was like a rivalry almost between her, Kat, and Steph.
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
give us a little bit more backstory on that? Because like the fans seemed pretty confused, and I was a bit confused as well because I don't think they gave us much information.
Yeah. No, it's because it's Allie is Nicole's best friend, and she's from Philly, so she's a little, hood. So she doesn't have no hair in her tongue, which is good because sometimes Nicole can defend herself, but not as much as how Allie can. So that's why um, she's a great friend with Nicole, just in case she always has Nicole's back. Because Nicole, forget it. When she drinks, it's over. So Allie always has her back, so which is cool. But what that story said is that Allie knew some information from Stephanie's dad about getting out of jail early just because he snitched and like told on somebody, and that's why they released him out of jail fast before his time. So she told that to Nicole, and then Nicole obviously mentioned it, and then that's how the whole issue started happening, and that they didn't like Allie because Stephanie said that she was just making that up. I don't know if it's true or not. They hashed it out. I never really got involved into that, but that was the word around the streets.
Is Allie cool with you? You and Allie are cool.
She was actually just here. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
really? Okay, cool. So
Yeah,
you're
cool.
as cool with her as Nicole is.
Yeah. Hmm.
All right. So during season two, at the end, you guys kind of have a heart to heart, you and your sister, and we see her take a pregnancy test, which is left off in a cliffhanger. And
Hmm.
in season three, in the promo, we see that she had lost her child.
Yes.
So I know this is a sensitive topic, I'm sure, for the entire family, but when that happened, can you tell us how your sister and your entire family took that terrible news?
Yeah. So I mean, as all of you know, season two, she really was pushing to have a child, and I of course was like, this is not the right time. You're not. I don't think you're ready. Just because she has so much, she's still growing, and she still has to, settle down and like, you know, invest in something, just like adulting. And she was just too busy like having fun and going out with her friends and enjoying her life. And I was like, I don't think having a kid right now is the right thing to do. And having that heart to heart conversation that we had was more because every time she gets in a relationship with a guy, they either physically abuse her or don't take her serious because of the way she looks. And as you all know, she looks like I like to say a Kim K slash Cardi B, sort of like with the voice and everything. But She is the sweetest thing in the world. She wouldn't even hurt a fly. I'm more of a badass than she is, and doesn't look it. So it's funny, but she's doesn't look like what she really is, which is great for the show. And I'm like, I I applaud her and I love it because she's showing the world who she really is. Because you know how everyone has that like stereotypical look.
Right.
So and she has that stereotypical look, like, oh, she's definitely like a slut or a whore, you know, and that's not what she is at all. And she's only probably had like maybe 4 relationships in her life, and long ones. But the guys that she's always with, they don't treat her well, and they just go for like one thing, and it sucks because I know she's one of those that like really wants to settle down and like have a kid and get married and all that stuff. But since I don't think she's ever really fell in love. So I think that's the issue. After having conversations with her, I think she was just fascinated about the idea, but I don't think it ever striked her. But I think that's what she's looking for, and I feel like the only way she's gonna receive that love is by a child. Because she's like, I don't care if I don't end up being with a guy or not. I just want a baby
Right.
because I want that love. And I'm like, hold up. I'm like, mom gives you love. I give you love. Like my sister, my dad, like we all love you. Like she's like, it's not the same. And she's like, it's not the same. And I'm like, okay, I'm a little offended here, but but I get it. She that's the way she thinks, and I have to accept it. And I mean, I can't really do much about it besides support her, and of course. But I mean, I think it was probably it's probably gonna sound really bad, but glad it didn't happen, and because she's in a different world right now that she probably would have not been able to do it on her own. And of course, you know, she lives with me now, and I would have helped her, my mom, of course, but I don't think it was probably the right time. Even though I know she was pushing and having it, and I think with all of that anxiety and issues was because she lost it because of that. So she did have a miscarriage. And she's a little going through it right now. But you know, we have to stay strong and support her because she hasn't had it easy ever because of all of like the relationships that she's been in. She's always gotten physically abused. No one takes her serious. Being bullied in school all the time. And then once when she was filming with the girls, it was all over again,
Right.
being bullied again. And I mean, I went through the same thing. I just have a thicker skin. I probably have gone through worse things besides this one that just happened. But when I was younger, just because of growing up and being gay, was not easy where we used to live. So I totally understand. And you know, and the way physically she looked, she was not ever happy with how she looked like. So that's why she did all of her surgeries. So she can achieve, so she can like, you know, start loving herself because she was always bullied because of that. She didn't have the prettiest face or like the nose or the body. And me, just because I was gay and I was denying it all the time. And I think I mentioned it a little bit in the show, but I didn't talk about it as much. While I was growing up, I was in a relationship with a girl for 7 years. And that went down the drain really quickly because not really quickly, but like not even 7 years. That's not long, but I mean that's hella long. But after that, I mean, I realized while I was in it, but I didn't want to believe it just because the love was real, was true. That it came to a point that I was just like, I can't do it anymore. And it was just because I figured out who I was. It was other issues that she did. I was cheated on, so that happened. And then after that, I dated a guy, and we dated for 2 years, and he cheated on me as well. And then that's when I moved down to Miami, so I can like start brand new. So, and that's when me and my sister moved in together, just because she moved down with my mom before, because I was already living in New York with those 2 significant others. And yeah, so we were kind of separated. So it was nice when I came back. I was back with the girls, and you know, we gained that bond again. And then we somewhat like separated again, and then once the show happened, then we started being together. So it's nice because we come and go.
Yeah.
So we're never really separated. But yeah, so I think you're really gonna see a lot of Nicole talking about her personal issues during the season, the most that she's ever spoke about.
Yeah.
Because she's gone through so much, too much that I'm just like, I feel bad.
Right.
But no, so no, but she has a really good supporting family, so that's a good thing, because I know if she didn't have me or my mom, I don't know where she would be right now, because she's not having it.
Yeah, well, I mean, glad that you guys are able to be there for her during this time.
Mhm.
And I really hope that the fans appreciate this interview, because you are giving us so much more information about who you are, because the show doesn't give us too much, they show us 45 minutes of
I don't have that much drama in my life.
Yeah, and not even 45 minutes of that is with just you and Nicole. So you're
Yeah.
giving us a lot more information about you and who you are and Nicole.
Mhm.
So I appreciate that a lot, and I definitely respect you guys a lot more after this interview. So hopefully everybody else does too, and they
Mhm.
appreciate this and like this. We just recently saw that Marie and Michael tied the knot. And you're working with Marie, so I wanted to know, did you attend the wedding? And if so, I want to give some details if you went.
I did attend the wedding. And I did something else in the wedding, which everyone will see. And very happy how everything turned out, but
See,
I can't say much. I'm
I
sorry.
I know because of contracts, but I'm like, damn it, give me more.
Let's just say it was a beautiful white wedding, Blanco.
Okay. Is there any particular moment in season 3 that you are really looking forward to see and having the fans see?
Like I said, I think Nicole's story is really going to hit a lot of people's heart, for sure, just because it's really deep. And I mean, I applaud her, because I'm like, uh, she had the courage to like talk about it in front of so many people, and of course in front of cameras, which I feel like I could do the same. But it's just like, I think that just takes a lot of courage and strength. So I'm just like, girl, I'm like, you don't know, but you're strong.
Yes.
So yeah. And definitely the wedding. I think the wedding, you're gonna see a lot of things going on, and a lot of solo filming and moment to moment people
Did anyone
during the
ruin
wedding.
that wedding?
I'm sorry?
Did anyone ruin that wedding? Like, was there drama?
No drama.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. We're like, no drama in this wedding, please.
Yeah. One moment where you could just like, please stay calm and don't start anything, guys.
Yeah. But no, it was a great wedding. So I think that's really gonna make the season, probably. But also for my portion, you do see a little bit in the background of me putting the house together, which is what I love. And so everybody can, because I know on Instagram, while I'm remodeling the house, I've been posting little stories about it. And getting that feedback every weekend from people is also really great to hear. Like, oh my God, I love what you did with this. I love what you did with that. What are you gonna do next? I feel like I'm watching like an HGTV show with all these like different stories every week, like me doing something new, like hanging a chandelier, adding the wood wall, building my kitchen cabinets, which you'll see in this season, painting the walls, and then decorating everything with plants and accessories. So I'm really gonna like that portion of it. But I think the end of the show is what's gonna put me there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel now that you're going into season 3, or you're done filming season 3, but we're just about to see it, do you feel, compared to when you first went into filming, that you and Nicole fit in more to the group and you are connected with them, and maybe you guys are understood a little bit more than how you were?
I think it started happening towards the end of season 2, that we all started getting along with each other, and then they started realizing like who we are and what kind of people we are, and for good or bad. So I get along with all the girls. They love me. I love them. They're so much fun. And then also Nicole too. Nicole likes to be on her own 24/7. She's just like that. She's kind of antisocial because of what she's going through. She
Yeah.
doesn't like to interact with a lot of people at the moment. But um, you get to see that a little bit of her more like solo and like interacting with the girls. And just because me and her sometimes don't see eye to eye, but it's just because I have that like tough brother love that I'm like, okay, snap out of it. Like
Yeah.
if I can do it, you can do it.
Yeah, right.
Sort of thing. And like sometimes when they're really, really, really going through it, probably that's not the right thing to do at that moment. So that's why me and her kind of have that little glitch at some points, but she's doing better, which is good.
That's great.
Yeah.
So you guys are getting along better. Everybody
Mhm.
seems to be connected a little bit more, and you guys are being understood more. That being said, can you spill a little bit of tea during season 3? Is there any drama that we should be anticipating between any of the girls
Well,
or you guys?
the villain is Stephanie. So that girl has a mouth. I love her, but I I actually would love to get into an argument with her, but there because I feel like I will probably like
Wait,
finish it off very well. But
like you have things you want to say to her?
yeah, but in the same time, like we're cool with each other, so it's like there's not really beef there. But I know if there ever was, it would probably be really fun.
Is Stephanie someone that you would fully trust, or you guys are like pretty cool?
I would, yes, I think I would trust her. I think so. Yeah. I mean, we don't have a really great bond like that. We don't text each other every single day, but every time we're together, it's always a fun time. So I say yeah. I think the other person that's probably gonna bring drama is Diana.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Nicole.
No, Nicole right now she's going through it, but I think Diana and Stephanie are the ones that create the drama right now.
So I want to play a little game, kind of. And I want you to tell us, I'm going to go through each one of the cast members, and I want you to tell me one good thing and one bad thing about them.
Okay.
All right. So first is Kat.
Kat, good thing. Well, to me, she's perfect. I think she's gorgeous. She looks like a doll in real life. I love her tattoos. And then the other thing that I don't like is that she's very, she likes to show when she's mad. And it's somewhat a little bit uncomfortable because she kind of has like that Morticia look from like the Addams Family. So it's like, should I talk to her? Should I not? Because is she gonna flip like on me or like? But yeah, every time she's not feeling right or not in the mood, you can tell.
Is that to you? Is that something where you feel like you have to kind of walk on eggshells around her sometimes because you might be afraid of how she's going to react to certain situations?
Yeah. If she probably would have like covered it a little bit more and just like make it seem like she's unbothered because it's very me. I think that would be better than actually showing that you're pissed off 24/7.
All right. Next is Michael Blanco.
Michael. Well, he's funny. He's honestly like the cool uncle. Because he was like, Michael, blah, blah, blah. Every time he sees me, he's like, what's up, brother? So I'm like, ah. So he's really, really cool. I love his energy for sure. He's so much fun. When he talks to you like from the heart. So it's like, like he's probably one that you can probably really trust.
Yeah.
And then the thing that I don't like is when he does get mad, the anxiety hits him.
Yeah.
Really, really bad. So he's one of those that probably cannot control his anger, I think. But I mean, everyone has a flaw, So that's probably one of I would, probably point out. Like, I don't think I'd like to get in an argument with him, sort of thing. But yeah.
Next is Marie.
Marie. Marie. She's a doll. She's probably like an older sister to me because like we text almost every other day. and we've gone to each other because of just being creative overall, and like I'm helping her with her brand, and coming up with all these like photo shoots and product images, and then so we've gained like a really nice bond with each other, and then of course my sister and her are really really good friends too, so it's always like us three, which is nice. And so I think I really like her attitude. I think she's very trustworthy as well, for sure. Yeah, her and Michael are very trustworthy. The thing that I don't like for example, let me just bring in like the photo shoots ideas. She'll be like, but I want to do this. I'm like, girl, no, we have to do this. You have to listen to me. And she's just like, no. And I'm like, yeah. She's like, okay, fine. So like maybe those like 2 seconds, I'm like, no, Marie, it has to be this way. But that's it, really.
Next is Stephanie.
Stephanie. I love her body for sure, right off the bat. I think she has a great silhouette. She's really, really pretty. So short. That's funny because in pictures, obviously in camera, she looks tall, but when every time I'm next to her, I'm just like, I forget how short you are. I'm like, but she's so tiny. I think like she's tinier than Nicole.
How tall is she? Do you know how tall she is?
Probably like 5'7". I mean, I'm 5'11", so like, and then with heels, it kind of looks like my height, but when she takes them off, I'm like, whoa, girl, you're tiny. But and then the one thing I don't like about her, I think it's a little self-explanatory, but I think it's just that she has to tone it down a little with her attitude, and I think she I think takes a lot of things too personal. She also gets into every little like detail and drama, and that it should probably not. I think that's the only flaw she probably has. But I mean, it makes for great TV. So
yeah. Next is Diana.
Yeah. Diana. We haven't had. I think me and her don't have that close relationship just because she's in a relationship right now, so she's in her own little world. I think it would probably be that we don't have a relationship like how I do with the other girls. I think we should probably change that.
Okay. So, hopefully she watches this, so then she can reach out, or you can reach out. Maybe you have her number. Text her after this.
I know. Like, Diana, what's up, girl?
Next is Nicole.
So, I mean, I love that she obviously has this look that everyone thinks, very negative about, like always give it like a bad look, just because of the way she looks. But when you really get to know her, she does not fall in that category at all, which is good. I'm like, whew, thank God, because that would have been too much.
Yeah.
But no, that's what I really like about her, and how determined she is when she really wants to do something. I think she's really, really strong in that, and she's very passionate about things as well, which is nice. The only thing what I don't like about her is that I think she overthinks everything, and just like she can easily like crawl up in a circle in the corner of her room and cry herself to sleep, and that's what I don't like seeing, because I don't like to see my sister like that.
Of course.
So I think like when I see her, I'm just like, wait, what are you doing? Snap out of it. What's going on? And she's like, Michael, leave me alone. Talk to you right now. I'm like, but you're gonna have to tell somebody something, because you're here going through it and we don't know shit. But she's very to herself. That's why. And she thinks that I don't understand her sometimes, just because I am a little rough of. Like I said, I'm not good with words, so whatever comes out. But it's not that I mean it really badly. I just don't know how to express myself sometimes. But yeah, I think that's one of the flaws that I wish she could probably like not change, but like learn how to like develop it better.
I actually wanted to ask. I'm sure you can think of some great stuff about yourself, and I think we are already gathering a lot of that from this interview. But can you tell us one thing that you may not necessarily like about yourself, or something that you might want to work on and change in the future?
So, like I said, I'm very visual, and I like everything aesthetic, like to look aesthetically pleasing. So I'm really good with that and creating spaces. The only thing that I am really bad at is communicating. So, like I said before, I'd rather show you how much I love you than tell you. Me, my communication skills are not that strong. So that's why me and my sister somewhat clash a little, just because I can't really get my thought across sometimes.
You keep saying that you are not very good with communication, but every single one of these questions that I've asked you, you've given me more than I ever expected in an answer. So I think you're great at
I'm working on it.
maybe in certain aspects, it's you think it's a little bit worse or harder to communicate, but I think this was awesome, and it gives us and the fans a lot more insight into yours and Nicole's life. So I really appreciate it. So for right now, I want to just tell everybody that you guys have to tune in to season 3 because it sounds like it's going to be extremely entertaining, and we're going to see a lot more of Michael and Nicole, which is great. I want you to tell everybody where they can find you because they need to check out your Instagram. Like when I saw your Instagram, I was like, this is one of the dopest layouts I've ever seen. Awesome.
Yeah, no, I love the how aesthetically is put together, and just because, like I said, that's how my brain works.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad that I put my creativity in that platform, and as well a little bit on TV. So I'm sure you'll see more coming soon. But yeah, so you can definitely find me on Instagram. It's under Zavala Concepts. So that's Zavala. And I also have a website called zavalaconcepts.com where you see all of my designs. And you'll see my house there later. And then also I have a Twitter, also under Zavala Concepts. And that's it. I don't have that much platforms, but I'll have TikTok soon. I'm working on some little videos. I'll start posting that.
Well, thank you again so much. I really appreciate you doing this, and I'm excited to see more of your story and who you are and your house and your creativeness during season 3. So this was awesome, and I really appreciate it. So guys, be sure to follow Michael on Instagram and follow me at Don't Touch Maher on Instagram, and be sure to follow Formation Productions so that you can see all the future and upcoming interviews that we have coming up.
Yes, and also Cartel Crew season 3 airs on June 7th, so that's that Monday.
Yes, guys, be sure to tune in because it's going to be probably better than the last 2 seasons. And
for sure,
we've been waiting a long time for this season to come out, so it's finally to be here. All right, well, thank you so much, Michael. I hope to talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Yep, thank you very much.
Have a great night.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye.